welcome to episode 42 of Arcadiology, where we dig up your favorite arcade relics. My name is Jordan Carruthers, and I'm joined by my three fastest friends in the whole world, them Wiggin boys. Mr. Brad Wiggin.
What up?
Mr. Sky Wiggin.
Hi.
Yep, okay, and Mr. Kyle Wiggin.
Saw, dude.
You can't give us one of those like Sky did?
I don't know what Sky just did.
Sorry, man. I was going too fast. I had to back up.
He was flying, dude. He had that card juiced up.
Zoomed right in here for the intro.
He's like those teenagers I hate that drive down the road all the time.
At least I didn't sit around and rev my engine for 10 minutes.
Oh man, all you gotta do is sit at Super Sheets for a few hours and do that.
Oh,
People
yeah.
who live here might know what I mean, but anyone else listening is gonna have no idea. But anyway, let's talk about some other games here, boys. I mean, I'm just gonna get out of the way now. I've been playing Radiant Dawn, so everybody else, what you been playing?
Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this one. I did bring it up before. It's called Blue Prince. It's a first-person puzzle game. Has some roguelike elements to it, like with some randomness, a little bit of luck involved with what you get. But the way the game's set up is you come into like this estate. I think it's like your great uncle or something. You're in his will, and the goal is you have to find the 46th room of his estate in order to inherit it. But the problem is the estate is only known to have 45 rooms. So basically, it's like the mystery of solving it to try to find the like hidden room essentially. But the way like the game actually plays. When you start, there's like 3 doorways, so you can open one of the doorways. Every time you open a door, it gives you 3 options. Each option is like a different kind of room, so some of them will be like a dead end, some will give you like multiple pathways to go. And then you just pretty much got to keep branching out to try to get to what clearly when you pull up the map is like at the very top of the map is where you're trying to get to find like the 46th room. You got to kind of like map your way there depending on which rooms you lay down. Certain ones give you like different buffs, some have different status effects that are like negative, so like lose steps. Well, I guess I should explain what that is. Like basically it's like your stamina. Every time you go from one room to another, you lose a step and you start off with 50. So if you keep walking back and forth between a room, you'll run out of steps and then the day will end and you'll have to start back over. All the rooms get wiped and you're back to just the starting room. All your items are gone and you got to start over again. But you can like learn information as you go. So like if you find like a safe and you solve a puzzle to like unlock it, if you draft that room again for like one of your random picks, it'll be the same room, like the same safe. So you can go in and get it and find whatever's in there. There's like different currency and stuff to progress through. But I know it's a really fun game. It's super addicting. Every time I like end a run, it's like kind of disappointing. It's like, oh dude, I thought I was gonna get somewhere this time, but then you start back over and it's still fun just going back through because there's a little bit of carryover. Like you can upgrade some of the rooms so they're better, or there's like you can get different currency that you start with, so it kind of makes the next run a little easier. But it's a really, really in-depth game. Every time you think you're like done or you're like making progress, there's like so many more pathways and different things that you got to solve. There's just so much to it. It seems like it just never ends.
So you haven't found the 46th room yet?
I did, and I mean, there's a point, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that is going to play it. There's a point where you roll credits, but honestly, you're probably not even like halfway through the game. There's like so much more to it. You can stop there. Like you find whatever, the credits come by, and you can be like, all right, I'm done playing. But there's so many more like mysteries and things to figure out, different puzzles to solve that you probably haven't even scratched the surface of by the time you rolled credits.
Yeah, I did watch some videos in that game. It does look pretty neat. I haven't grabbed it yet, but it's got me thinking about it.
Yeah, I think you would like it. It's so much fun. It's like, you guys remember that board game we played? I think it was just called Zombies. How you kind of like lay down like the map tiles.
Yep.
It kind of reminds me of that because like you can pull up your map in the game and it's like a grid. I don't know what, 6 by something, whatever equals 45, but yeah, something like that. And then it has like all the grids so you can kind of see where it's going to lead. So you get your piece, you can pull up the map and you can see where it's going to fit in on that map. So you can kind of like path your way up. It just reminds me of the way like how you would pull a tile in that game and you got to set it up like with the opening so you can go through.
It's an interesting concept, like a roguelike puzzle game. I always thought that'd be like a hard thing to implement. Like usually puzzles are one thing, well thought out. You know what I mean? Like it's set up a specific way. But I guess they somehow can randomize those.
Yeah, I mean like the rooms can be random, so you do got to kind of get lucky with what you get. But like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, within the rooms, a lot of the puzzles are the same. Like the way, like I said, if you find like the safe key, it's always going to be that. So you can, or I'm sorry, the safe code. You always know how to open that. But yeah, certain rooms will interact with other rooms, so you might not be able to solve something because you don't have both the rooms you need in that same run. But there's so many like different things to figure out. So while you're trying to get to that 46th room, you're like coming up with all these other things, other mysteries and different puzzles you're trying to solve. So it's not like, yeah, you might not get there. You're most likely not going to get there for quite a while, but there's so many other things you're going to do along the way that keep you busy.
I think we might have talked about that a little bit. Like we were saying, it kind of reminds me of that game Myst on the PlayStation, like a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was on PC too, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, it's probably originally a PC game.
Yeah, it's like a point and click game.
Yeah.
Definitely reminds me of that.
I remember that game being super hard.
Yeah, it feels like that. This is a game where when I first started playing, I heard other people talking about it, and people were like, you're going to have to take notes. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play the game. Then, like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes in, I'm like, damn, I do have to take notes if I want to actually, like, solve this. It's either that, well, I don't literally write stuff down. I just get out my phone, take a screenshot of something I find so I can come back, reference it if I need. And then other times I was like, all right, I'm not figuring this out. I just looked it up. I mean, if you're okay with looking stuff up, sure, you don't have to take any notes. But if you want to get through it on your own, you're definitely going to have to take notes or screenshots of stuff, or you will not solve a lot of stuff.
He just like, man, I ain't taking notes. Screw all that. All of a sudden, he has like a full notebook full.
Pretty much.
Taking the best notes ever.
And this is on what platform?
I'm playing it on Game Pass on my Xbox, but it's on PlayStation and Steam as well. But a quick example of like my favorite puzzle in the game. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but so a lot of puzzles, like I said, are like the same no matter what, like a code. But then there's other rooms. The one I'm talking about in specific, it's called the parlor room. And when you go in, you're presented with 3 boxes, and each one has like a phrase on it. And then there's rules all beside it that says one of the boxes has gems in it, the other 2 are empty. And then the second rule of it is one of the boxes is always telling the truth, and one of the boxes is always lying. So you have to kind of like read them and figure out which one you know is true, and then figure out which one's lying, and then kind of put it together. And by reading the phrases and figuring out which one's right and wrong, you only get one chance to open the box, and you got to try to find the one with the gems in it so you can use that currency to like get different rooms and stuff. But that's my favorite one.
Ah, it's like a little like logic puzzle kind of thing.
Yeah, and this one resets every time. So every time you pull that room up in a different run, it's going to be a different logic puzzle that you get to solve. So it's not like it just keeps repeating.
Ah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, like a super basic example. I don't even know if this is a real one, but an easy way to think about it. Like the first box will be white. It'll say, this box is white. Second box is blue. It says, this box is blue. Then the third box, it says, the gems are not in this box. So you know the first 2 are true because you have eyes and you can see what the colors are. And then the third box, you know, is lying because one of them has to be a lie. Does that make sense? So that's the one that the gems are in. Yeah, that's kind of the type of puzzles that are set up in that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Every time I get that room, even if it's not like the best pathway, I'm like, I kind of want to get that room just so I can go in and do that puzzle because it's so much fun.
Kind of reminds me of, you ever see them little puzzles that are like, whatever, this dude lives in this house, but this guy's house is not green, but this guy's neighbor is not Ed or something. You know what I mean? Like, you just go through like a big checklist, like process of elimination.
Yeah, pretty much just like that. Yeah, and it's always, as long as you follow the 3 rules, you know, and you think about it, you can always solve it. So it's not like there's a randomness to it that it's going to screw you over. But if you kind of just play it out and figure out which one it is, that one I always have fun with.
Definitely sounds pretty cool, worth checking out.
Yeah, dude, I'm loving it. I don't even know how much hours I have into that at this point. That's all I've been playing the last 2 weeks pretty much.
Because you have it on Game Pass, I'm assuming it's free to you, but is it a free game?
It is not a free game. I think it's like $20 or $30 if you're paying for it. But yeah, it's on Game Pass. I mean, even if a lot of stuff like this, if you just want to check out a game, you just, spend $15 for Game Pass and try out the game and see if you like it. If you have a month of it, you know what I mean? You can play a lot of games you want to within that month. Or even if it's just one game like this, if you're not going to spend more than a month on it, it's worth just hopping in for that. And I told our buddy Justin Vastbinder, Sniz. Yeah, he's been playing it too. So me and him have been sharing notes and talking about it like over the last week or so, just different things we're figuring out. So it's fun to have someone to play with that you can bounce ideas off with without actually getting like everything spoiled.
I haven't talked to that guy for a minute.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, me and him are pretty deep in it. We've been talking about it like crazy back and forth. And if you didn't put it together, the game is called Blue Prince. Like the son of a king, but it's a play on words like blueprints, like a map.
Yeah.
because that's what the whole game's about, like mapping it out. So when I first heard the game, I thought it was just called Blueprints, like the maps. I was trying to look it up. I was like, what is this game? Where is it at? And then I figured out, it's called Blueprints. That makes more sense.
That was the opposite for me when you told me about it. Like you spelled it out like the son of a king, like a
Yeah.
blue prince. I was like, what's that have to do? I'm like, I'll check that out. I look it up and it's like a little weird mapping game. I'm like, what's this have to do with a prince? What? It took me a little while. I was like, oh,
Put it
okay.
together.
He's mapping stuff
Yeah.
together. He's making blueprints of rooms. All right, it's a little play on words here.
But yeah, Blueprints, everyone check it out. That game is awesome.
Nothing new for me, really. I just been playing a lot of 33 Immortals, trying to grind out the last little quests I have left, and then I'll probably just be maybe taking a little bit of a break, just play every so often, waiting for updates. Nothing new for me, just that and a little bit of Diablo 1. Still been playing that lately on my phone, so.
Ryan's still playing Diablo with you?
Me and him played Diablo 2. I haven't played
okay.
for a couple days, but I'll probably end up jumping on here soon. I think I got him back into it a little bit, so he's been playing a little. I didn't verify it, but I was talking to Gordy about it too, like joking how we used to play back in the day, and I just talking to him about D2 and all that. And I was like, hey man, when are you gonna play with me and Ryan? And I'm not even sure if he was gonna play or not. Then he messaged me and said he like started playing. He started like an Amazon that he never really played before, so I don't know if he actually jumped on and got back into it.
Just bringing it up, that's all it took.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get a hold of him and see if he's actually playing it. If so, then I got a little party of 3, starting back up the old days.
Yeah, you're gonna have a whole squad before you know it.
Yeah, we used to run like do the Uber runs back in the day, where they fixed it a while ago, but you used to be able to go in and fight like Baal, Diablo, Mephisto, but it's like a super versions of them. They're crazy hard, and you got to have like decent gear and max out all like your resistance and all that stuff so you don't die. But we used to like host those games and have people join in and like level up to level 90 in like 2 hours or something like that. So that was like pretty much all we did once we got to that point. It's pretty much like the end game thing if you run Ubers all the time.
You should just like get everyone all hyped and back into it and then just not play it.
Just uninstall. Just peace out.
Not gonna lie, that's what I kind of accidentally did to Tom and Booty. I was
man.
telling them about Endless Online. I just downloaded like a different server and started playing it for a little bit. They both got into it and were playing together. Like I kind of stopped. It was like a month later. They're like, have all this stuff and we've been grinding day after day. Like, oh man, I'm sorry. I really thought I was gonna play it, but it was kind of hard to commit to.
You were really into it at first.
Yeah.
Dude, Tom, I think he grinded that game for a while after we all quit.
Yeah, I think he kept playing Endless, and he did the same thing with DFO.
Dude, yeah, I remember him. We check in like every like couple months or like even like a year or two later, and he's like still playing DFO. I'm like, wow, man. I get back into it for a little bit for like a couple months here and there, then get out of it. But I don't know if he probably hasn't played it forever now. But I know for a while when we all would quit like on and off and stuff, he was like still consistently on that, like shredding it all the time.
Well, as for me, I haven't been playing anything too different. I'm kind of bouncing around because I'm like in one of those modes where I don't know what to play. Like nothing really is really holding my interest for like a long time. So I'll play like a little bit of Path of Exile 2. I'll play a couple matches of Fortnite. Then I'll hop over and play a couple matches of the finals. And like everything seems okay, you know what I mean, for like a short burst of time. And then I'm like, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to do something else. So as far as playing, I mean, it's just a couple matches here and there of each of those. But I have been keeping a very close eye on that marathon extraction shooter that's coming out from Bungie. And the alpha test is actually going on. It started today. And I applied for the alpha. I did not get a code yet, but they said they're going to be giving out codes like throughout the week and a half that the alpha is going on. So I've been like every hour I've been checking my email to see if I got a code for it. I had like multiple streams pulled up on like all of my monitors. And as soon as somebody would like die or have to like go like, you know, back to the main menu where it was like everything got boring, I just switch over to a different stream and start watching it, trying to like really like just learn everything I can before I actually hopefully get my hands on the game myself. But yeah, I've just been like consuming a lot of marathon content.
How's it looking overall?
It's hard. I don't know. It depends. Like, I think on the games that you're used to. If you're used to like the mil sim, like, you know, super like realistic looking stuff, like if you're like a Call of Duty player, then you're probably gonna think this game looks like trash, because this is more of like a Destiny, Halo, you know what I mean, kind of vibe to it. some things are like kind of bright and colorful, and like there's like a lot of like simple like geometry to it.
That's my kind of game.
That's what I mean. I think
That
like
style right there.
yeah, I think for us, like for the games that we've played and the stuff that we like, I don't know, like that stuff doesn't really matter to me. But some people are like, I get it. They come from these other games they're used to that are like super graphics intense, and they're like, oh, this game looks like Roblox or something.
I don't know if that's just because like we grew up with those kind of games, or if that's just the way we're wired. Like we're okay with this kind of graphics. I'm not sure if that's 100% nostalgia or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's that definitely plays a part in it, but I also sometimes people mistake graphics for art style. Like in my opinion, like I don't know, maybe you guys know better than me, but I feel like those are two totally different things. And some people will like see things and be like, all these graphics suck. Like they should have better graphics for this big of a company. And it's like, yeah, they've made other games that have good graphics. Like they can do that. This is an art choice they made. You know what I mean? To like, it's a design of the game that like it's just the way they want it to look. It's not because this is the best graphics they could possibly render at Bungie.
Yeah, it's like people are still making pixel games in 2025, so it's obviously a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Some of those graphics just hold up too, like Symphony of the Night. Those graphics are still awesome, like for what they are.
yeah.
There's you can get a lot of crazy, surprising detail just using like pixels, rather than having to like have models and render stuff like that.
Yeah, after the pod, you guys will have to like bring up a gameplay footage real quick and just look at the graphics of it and just like tell me what you guys think of it. But to me, it's like it doesn't really bother me. Like this is fine. Like it does what I need. I just want to go in there and loot some things and kill some people.
What it's all about.
As long as the gameplay is solid, I mean, graphics aren't total deciding factor.
All right, well, I guess we can hop on into the game for the episode here then. So if we're all ready to go, let's dig up some Hot Rod. Hot Rod is a 1988 top-down racing game developed by Sega. You race against up to 3 other players to make it to the finish line before running out of gas, collecting points and money to buy upgrades between each race. Equipped with steering wheels and gas pedals, the arcade cabinets were released in 4-player tabletop-style cabinets and 3-player upright cabinets. And that's about it. That's the game. Say goodbye, boys.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're done.
Peace.
Thanks for listening.
That's about all there is to it.
Pretty basic game, yeah.
It's about the most basic thing we've ever done.
You know what this game reminded me of? Have you guys ever played with little toy cars? They're called slot cars. Anyone know what that is?
Are they the
I'm
ones?
not sure.
I think I might know what you mean.
Okay, well, there's like a little track, and you put the car on there. I don't know the mechanics. I don't know if it's magnet or if it just kind of sits in the place. Probably just sits in the slot.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a slot car. But anyways, you have like the little controller. It's like a little dial, like a little mini steering wheel, and you turn it, and the car will just start zooming around the track. But like you don't steer it, you just control the speed. And if you go too fast, which you pretty much always do because everyone just wants to crank it, your car will go flying off the track, and you just like have to keep on starting over. That's what this game felt like. It's like it's so
Yeah, I
hard
know
to
what
like,
you mean.
control it. You just crank up the speed, and you're crashing, and you got to like reset. I feel like you're constantly doing that in this game.
You're trying to just crash less than other people crash.
Good luck.
Sometimes I would purposely crash because it actually puts you ahead.
Oh my god, that's the thing, dude. Being in first place was almost a disadvantage in this game. Because you could see so little of the track ahead of you, like it wouldn't load the screen ahead of you. It was just right in front of you if you were in first place. And you really had no idea where you were actually going. But then meanwhile, the computer cars that are behind you, if they fall off the screen, it would just launch them up ahead to where you're at.
Yeah, like worked for you and against you. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, being in first place just did not feel good, ever.
You had to kind of know the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole camera of like angle of this game was god awful.
Oh, for sure.
It didn't fall, which is so weird because like the way we're playing it anyways, it's you versus 3 computers at the same time, and I don't know which computer it decides to pick, but the main camera follows one of those computers. It does not follow you. So like if you're ahead of them, then like Jordan said, you can barely see anything that's coming up. And if you're behind them, like the camera moves away from you to follow the guy that's like in first. But it doesn't do that when you're in first. So it's like it just picks one of these random NPCs and camera locks to that guy.
I didn't notice specifically. Maybe it does do that. I just assumed because there's 4 cars on the screen. Even if it's just you playing this game, you can play multiplayer, but no matter what, there's going to be 4 cars on the screen. I figured it was kind of like centered so you can see all 4, kind of averaged out the real estate of the screen, but I don't really know. It was definitely when you got ahead, though, you could never see what's up front.
Yeah, so you better play it a lot and kind of memorize these tracks because that's about your only chance.
There's a lot of tracks.
Yeah. And I don't think...
Yeah, I mean...
Like, I have to go back and do it again, but, like, I don't know. I don't know that it, like, tries to average the camera out. Because I'm pretty sure there's been times where, like, I was in either, like last, but I'm in last, like, and the guy that's in third is like close to me, and like it pulls the camera so far to where like I'm not like out yet, like it hasn't like pushed me forward onto the track, but like I still am off the screen, and so I can't even like see where my car, like the angle that my car is. So like, I literally can't do anything, just sit there and wait for it to pull me. So like for me, that's not even an average, because if it's an average, I should at least be on the screen, but I'm not at times.
Yeah, like the front guy just pulls the whole screen away and it keeps on shifting you off. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That definitely happens a lot. So I don't know. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, it does not get any points for the camera.
Combine that with how disorienting the steering is, because, as we said, it's a top-down view. So when you're trying to go left and right, you have to turn which way your car is going. Like if you're sitting in the driver's seat, which the track is going all different directions as you're traversing through it. So sometimes you're trying to go left and you think it's going to be right, because your car is coming from the top of the screen down. Everything's just backwards. It's kind of hard to get a grip on what you're actually doing.
Yeah, you got to do it like you're in the driver's seat, pretty much looking forward. Whatever left for the actual car is which way you have to go.
And that direction's always changing with the way the course is moving.
Yeah, it took quite a while to get used to that. Eventually, I did get the hang of it. But every so often, though, like if you get pulled off the screen and all of a sudden you respawn, it kind of like disorients me. I'm like, oh, I start panicking, trying to turn and stuff.
That's what it is, yeah. When the screen pulls ahead and it teleports you because you fall off the back of the screen, it lunges you up further, and then you're kind of out of sync with which way you're going, and also you lose fuel, so now you're kind of falling behind on that as well.
All right, speaking of fuel, dude, we all agree that whole system is garbage.
Yes, dude. It's terrible.
Yeah, man.
Not great.
Like, to me, first of all, when the first like loop I did, I didn't even know that I could actually run out of fuel. So like one time it was just like my car was sitting there, just couldn't move, and I was like, "What is this, dude?" Like it was just like, "You're done, dude." like all right. And then I found out there was a fuel thing, and then I think I don't mind the idea, but I think the way they implement it is like it couldn't be any worse, because like you said, like when you compound like the way that the controls work, which everyone sounds like they agree is pretty bad, the fact that the controls are that bad, and then to get gas you have to like run over what is basically like a little power up that just has a G for gas. To have to navigate the controls that are already really bad, you're trying to win in first, like get in first place, which is very hard against these computers. But then you also have to kind of go out of your way to be very precise and hit these little gas power ups so you don't run out of gas. Just like is not enjoyable at all.
I swear I ran into those and it like didn't register. Like the hitbox on those is absolutely terrible.
You have to run over it 100% like pixel perfect, otherwise it will not pick it up, and that's absolutely aggravating, because you could swear like I ran it over clear as day, but no, if you're not like 100% perfectly over that, you're not going to get it. And as we've said, the controls for the car are so terrible that good luck picking them up. Because I mean, one thing we didn't really touch on quite yet, whenever you turn in this game, and there's a lot of turns, these tracks are winding like crazy. The turns are not like a normal turn in a racing game. Every single turn you make is like an aggressive drift. And also, you add in the fact that if you hit a wall, you completely stall, like to a dead stop. So it's absolutely impossible to control. And then, yeah, you try to pick up those gas tokens, good luck.
The power up that just says whatever it, and I call it a power up, but it just has a letter P on it. Is it just points?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I think that's all they are.
That's what I didn't
points,
know.
But they also convert to more money whenever you finish the lap or whatever.
Okay.
I feel like it was almost never worth it to even, like, if you happen to get one, cool. But if you try to go out of your way to get those, like, it's not even worth
Yeah.
it.
Not worth it. Not worth it. You definitely have
Then you hit a wall, then you go to last place, and you get teleported. Now you don't know which way's backwards and forwards. Like, it's just not. If you pass it up, just keep going. Don't even worry about it.
You definitely have to focus on getting those gas tokens, though, because the way you have to spend another token or another credit in this game is if you run out of gas. And if you're avoiding those gas tokens, you will run out of gas in maybe like 2 or 3 races. So you need to get at least a few of them, or you're going to be pumping more credits in.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you think it would reset your gas per race, like give you a decent chance to start every time, but it's just whatever you had last race, like that's what you get for the next one. And then whether, depending on what place you come in, you can get more.
Yeah, you get a bonus for that.
But I mean, rarely are you ever coming in first, maybe even second. Like, you're usually probably third or last if you don't completely run out in the like anyway.
And what kind of sucks is when you run out of fuel, your car just stops and you have to use another token. If you do that at any point in the race, you're out of that whole race until it hits the finish line. Like, you can't put a credit in and continue where you're at. Your fuel tank's done. You have to wait until that lap ends, and then you can spawn back in on the next one.
Yeah, it's just an auto lose for that track.
Yeah. And then the computers can actually pick up the fuel if they drive over them, even though they don't use
Yes.
fuel. They can just they constantly can go. They never run out of gas, but they'll snake your power ups if they land over them.
It's like next to
Yep.
impossible to even grab them. And then on the off chance that you get close, they can also grab these powers. Like, come on, dude.
And
At least
Yep.
let me have them if I get them. Like, how are these guys snaking all my power ups? They don't even use them.
You better believe they took them a lot. There were, I mean, we were very mild with our goal for this game, for like our numbers and whatnot. We just had to do a few specific races, and I knew where all the gas tokens were that I wanted. Some of them I had to get out of the gate perfectly and not hit a wall, or they would get sniped.
yeah.
It was so
And
frustrating.
like another big problem with those is a lot of times, like we said, it was the controls are bad, the gas things are hard to pixel perfect run over to get them. Sometimes they would place them like close to walls, which, like Jordan said, if you hit a wall, it's like really bad. Like you hit the wall, it like completely stops your car and even like pushes you back a little bit. So it's like really bad to hit and like try to get going again. But the problem is you have to get some of the gas things if you don't run out of gas. But it also feels like you have to go like slow down to make sure you don't hit anything and you get the gas thing. You're basically giving up whatever position you're in because the other cars are going to pass you. But it's like you have to even finish the race. So it's very awkward.
I thought it was weird. Like, you hold in you have like an acceleration button. If you hold that in the whole time though, like you're banging off walls back and forth. Like I found myself kind of holding it for like a second or two at a time and letting it go, almost kind of like slowly like pulsing the acceleration. But if you let it go completely for like a second or like 2 seconds, like it takes you another like 3 seconds to start revving back up. So like you can't let your gas go for too long, or else you're just gonna have to restart and like be super slow.
And also, most of these racetracks have obstacles on them as well that if you crash into, you're going to lose 20 units of gas. I mean, the second race alone in the game, the first race is fine. The second one alone is covered from head to toe with these like barrels or something that if you run into them, you lose 20 units of gas. And I feel like it's almost impossible to get through that second race without running into them and wrecking at least once.
Yeah, on that second race, I just adopted the strategy is just get the fuel cans. If you don't run into any obstacles, kind of take it a little bit slow as you can. Make sure you get the fuel because you'll take the 20 gas penalty for being off the screen, but then it just kind of pulls you up closer to where the opponents are. So you kind of, if you keep getting the couple gas cans, because there's a decent amount in that section, you can make enough that you don't really like come out negative in your gas by the end of that one. Kind of play the system with the fuel on that.
That's pretty smart. I didn't even think of that. I mean, to be fair, I didn't think a lot during this whole playthrough, but
Feels like there's not much to think about. So we talked about being able to earn money. We didn't really talk about what that money's for. I mean, I briefly mentioned it, but in between every race, you visit a shop, and those shops have different upgrades you can get. Now, the upgrades you can get, I believe there are different tires, engines, spoilers, and bumpers. However, I didn't notice even like the slightest difference with any of those upgrades.
Oh, I did for
I
sure.
think I noticed the tires. The tires,
Really?
I definitely
didn't
felt like
notice
my turning was better.
anything.
I felt like the handling definitely got better.
That's the thing. The tires aren't even supposed to be for the turning. I think like the spoiler or something was supposed to be for the turning.
You sure?
Well, the tires do help
From what I looked up.
because throughout the game we didn't play. I mean, I don't know how much everyone's played, but as you get further, there's different terrain and stuff. So depending on what tires you have to have the right tires for that terrain. Otherwise, your handling's kind of gets a little wonky. So if you have the correct tires, like the right upgrade, then your handling is better.
Yeah, but for those 3 basic races at the start we were focused on, I didn't notice any difference between buying any upgrade.
I absolutely did. I had the engine 2 upgrade and the speed tires. Dude, I could full throttle around like that last race without letting off the gas, and I could just rip around every turn like no problem.
That's crazy to me because it could not have possibly felt any less different with the engines, the spoilers, anything.
Yeah, I don't know if you got the same identical upgrades I did, but I kind of played quite a few times and kind of tested different, because you can only get so much money in those first couple races. So I would test, like, maybe I get the spoiler here, maybe I get the engine here, and my combo was engine 2 and the speed tires, like the first upgrade of those, and you have some crazy good control.
I think I went with that same upgrade path.
I always went for the bumper first because from what I read, the bumper is supposed to reduce the amount of gas that you lose from hitting obstacles, but I don't even know if that was legit or not.
Yeah, I think you're right. I tried the bumper further on in one of the races, and like, because some of the tracks have like oncoming traffic and stuff you have to go past, and I had the bumper upgrade, and when one of the cars hit me, it took off my bumper. Like I used it, I think it like flew off, but I didn't lose my gas penalty, so it does help with like crashing.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
so it's like a one-time shield almost.
Essentially, yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I guess we should mention that unless you guys have seen something, they don't tell you any of this in the game. Like, I have no idea what any of these upgrades do. You just have to assume, like, I mean, you can go look them up like you guys did, but like, yeah, for some of the things you just kind of assume. Like, I guess maybe the engine maybe makes me excel a little faster, or I guess I assume the tires give me a little better turning. But yeah, you don't actually know what anything does.
My guess would be it's probably one of those situations where it's like printed on the arcade cabinet itself.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Possibly, yeah, because this was like the dedicated arcade.
Yeah, as far as in the game, it won't tell you. You're doing it through an emulator. You're kind of just either Googling it or taking a guess.
One of the upgrades is like the front engine, and then you can also get a rear engine, it says.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, that's... I mean, cars they only have one engine, but I didn't know how this game worked. I was like, if you can buy them both, like, can I just get 2 engines on this thing? What's that going to do? So I got the front engine upgraded, and the rear engine popped up in one of the races. I went to buy it, and it just replaced my front. Like, the front engine was gone, and now I just have, like, level 1 rear engine.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, that sucks. I had, like, a level 2 or 3 front engine. I thought I was doing pretty good. So I was like, oh, man, can you put 2 engines on this thing and just go crazy?
Just one or the other.
Yep. I did not know that.
The shop thing is pretty basic. Like, it just shows your car, and then like surrounding you has like all the upgrades. You kind of move left and right and select them. But it is pretty cool. Whenever you buy a piece, it actually like equips it to your car. So it's not just like mechanically. Like, you can actually visually see your car upgrade, which is a cool little addition there, I thought.
Yeah, I got like level 3 the radial tires, and it makes your car look huge.
Yeah.
And tires are big.
I guess like another weird thing about this game is if you're the one in first place and it like you actually are doing really well and you pull ahead of the other cars, like it'll teleport them to you as well. Except like we mentioned before, they don't have gas. So they take 0 penalty for being teleported to you. And then it's like, so even if you're in first and you're doing really well, it can teleport them all to you. And then if you hit one wall after that, they all pass you.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, if you do well, they do well.
Yeah.
You're pretty much just helping them if you're doing better. Like,
Yeah, you're always at the disadvantage on that.
there's no downside to being the computers in this game.
Yeah, I'll give it the fact that, I mean, I guess it's like Jordan said, if the controls are printed on the cabinet, then like that makes sense. So like if he didn't say that, like this game would definitely lose points in my opinion for like not telling you what any of these upgrades do. But if I just assume they put them on the cabinet, I can give them that one. And then I got to give them like, if this were all 4 of us like at Brad's house playing it, I think it would be better. I think when you have these 3 computers that have like no penalty or drawbacks, like some of them seem way too good for no reason at times. Like it really distorts, I think, how fun the game could be.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, it's crazy how the extremes of that scale, like, they'll either suck really bad. Like, I've had a thing where all 3 of the other AI cars like just kept running into like the same spot. Like they were just getting wrecked. They couldn't do anything. They weren't turning around. Like I was like, these things are dumb. I like flew past them, and I think I hit first in that particular race. Then there's other races where like the turns are so crazy and insane, and like the one dude's just flying and hitting every turn. This dude's like Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious through all these turns. I'm like, how is he? He was like a complete moron in the last race, and now he's like 100% perfect. I don't know how that scales. I don't know what their method is for that.
Yeah, I definitely had moments like that as well. All three of them stuck in like the same corner, just like bouncing and spinning around in circles like idiots, and you just cruise on by.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, they're burning right past you.
I hate to just like be like picking this game apart and complaining about the whole time, but it's honestly pretty bad. So another thing to mention is like when you do get like pulled off screen, like if you're lagging behind and it pulls you to where the first place player is, it keeps your car in the exact angle that it was like when you got pulled. So if you're making like a left-hand turn, but you're down off screen and it pulls you up to the computer, and the computer is making a right-hand turn at the time, it keeps your car in the same position. So now you end up like up ahead, but you're backwards, and you have to like turn around.
I feel like that's the opposite of how it was for me.
I don't think so.
I feel like for me, it always put me facing like the direction I need to be facing, but then I wouldn't be prepared for that. Like I'd still be like mid-turn a different direction, and then I'd get kind of screwed because of that.
I didn't notice.
Unless it's
Yeah, me
random.
either.
I've definitely been pulled like where I don't know to an angle is not desirable. Like it put me like right in front of a wall, and it's like I literally couldn't go forward.
I mean, that would not surprise me in the slightest.
I do wonder how this game controls. I know it's going to be weird because it's not first person, but like with a steering wheel and a pedal, I wonder like an actual arcade cabinet how it feels to play. I'd like to try it out just to see the difference.
Honestly, man, I think it'd be even worse.
I don't know. I don't see it being much worse. It's the same thing. You're just going left and right and pressing a button. You know what I mean? You think it would be worse than with a joystick?
I think it'd be worse. I feel like you'd have so much less control having to turn an entire wheel than just use your thumb to flick the joystick a little bit. Because either way, those turns are still going to be aggressive and wild. They're still like those crazy drifts. So I feel like with a wheel, it'd just be a little much. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I guess we'll probably never know, but I would like to know. That's all I'm saying.
Unless you want to buy the cabinet.
Let's go halves on it. Your
All right,
favorite
man.
game.
I think it'd be cool if it kept your car like at the bottom of the screen facing up, and then the track rotated around you as you turned. You know what I mean? So you stay in the same orientation, just move the track as you turn, so you always know which way is left and right.
I get that, but that still sounds a little
That
whack
might
too. I
be-
feel like I'd be getting dizzy.
Yeah, it might be disorienting.
It might look a little crazy, but you would know what direction you're going. Like,
That's true.
I don't know. I'd like to try. I think it'd still be better than whatever this control scheme is. Although you do get the hang of it. I mean, you get tripped up a couple times when you start falling behind and panicking. But for the most part, I pretty much got the hang of the controls.
Yeah, like I said, by the one race, and I had my 2 upgrades, and I kind of knew, because some of the times you got to like turn early, let go of your stick, and kind of let them drift around the corner, and then like Sky was saying, to kind of feather the gas, use a little bit, let go of it. Can't let it go too long, or you're gonna basically stall out and have to accelerate the whole way back up. But if you get the timing of it right and the right upgrades, like I was saying, you can really start cruising through some of these tracks. I mean, it's not easy, but if you get it figured out, it actually feels really good.
I gotta say, like when you hit like a crazy section where there's a lot of turns and it's like pretty difficult. When you nail one of those sections, you just feel awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I just hit like 7 turns in a row. I'm awesome. then you run out of gas. That was a big problem.
Yeah.
I would be in like first place, almost up to the goal in some of the races, and then I ran out of gas, and I just had to watch all these guys just take my spot.
Man, I personally think this would have been a little better if instead of having these really big, long tracks like they seem to have wanted, just have a much shorter, simpler track and a more zoomed out camera. So you can just view the whole track on one screen, so the camera's not trying to awkwardly follow along with whoever's out front.
Yeah, even just being able to see just a little bit more of the track at one time.
Just zoom out a little.
I feel like there's got to be a
Baffles
racing
me.
game with that almost exact setup. Almost pretty much you're saying like a single screen, and you kind of can see everything and just kind of move around in that track.
Uh-huh. Okay,
There's,
so like I'm watching the video of someone playing right now, and they were in first place, and this is a level I must not have gotten to, but it got to a part where he had 3 different paths he could choose to take, but you couldn't see what was past them. How are you supposed to know which one to take?
Gotta memorize the entire game and every track. It's the only way.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned this, but there's 30 different tracks in this game. So,
Is that what it is? 30?
yeah, that's a lot of
it's 30,
memorizing.
and we did not do them all. I mean, so I don't know if any of you guys did all 30. I played for
No.
like half an hour the first time, so I did maybe at least half of them, but I'm sure for the most part we stuck to the first few. I mean, yeah, some of these tracks in the late game are absolutely insane. Like, there's plenty where the track is so unbelievably narrow and has so many turns, and I cannot fathom how you would play it.
I mean, if we're saying how many tracks we did, I actually did play through all 30.
Oh my god.
You did the whole way.
I feel
I did.
I feel so bad for you.
You want to know what's even worse than that? After you do the 30th track, the game loops and you play it again.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
right.
Yeah, I didn't do
Nice,
that. As soon as I saw I hit level 1 again, I stopped. I ended my run there.
Jeez, I probably went about halfway as well, like Jordan said.
I'm not saying I did good. I'm just saying I got through all of them.
You just did it.
I didn't
You
crush
endured
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of mentioned it, but the game's kind of broken into sections. You mentioned like the tires. You have good tires for different kind of sections. There's like the grassy section and the muddy section, the snowy section and whatnot. The way it's kind of split up is you'll do 3 races, then you'll go to like an awards ceremony where you kiss a different wife each time, and then do 3 more races, and then just keep on going through all
No, that's
30.
my kind of race.
You literally, your character kisses his wife at the end of each 3, and it's a different woman every time.
And for some reason, it's always the same guy winning the trophy, whether it's first or last.
Oh yeah, you could.
It's always
you
the
could've
same
spent,
dude.
Like 30 credits. Yeah,
The dude in the red hat always gets the trophy no matter what.
and the kiss, dude. That's the real prize. I cannot believe you did all 30 of them, dude. What would possess you? Were those ending stages as awful as they look in the video? Because some of those turns you have to make are almost, the track is like the width of your car itself.
Yeah, some of those are crazy narrow. There's a lot more obstacles. The one was like you can start falling off the track. There's like holes in the track. You can just fall off and die. There's like water out on like a dock or something. There's a lot of stuff in the way there. And one of the levels, like there's a cop car that like drives around and gets in your way.
I did see that one too. That was interesting.
I don't know, man. Some of those are just like there's nothing you can do. You just get wrecked. At least I
Yeah.
do.
This seems like this game would be better if you just had 4 actual players, like, because then it just becomes like, it kind of seems like everyone sucks. So you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
you're all kind of
Yeah.
just bouncing around trying to like see who sucks the least to get to the end. But when you're playing against the
All
computers
four.
that are sometimes really good, then it's just like it doesn't feel like you're getting a chance to play sometimes.
Yeah.
All 4 of us would run out of gas, and nobody would would finish the race.
I'm not sure how long like the difference is between the length of all the levels, but some of them later ones also, I felt like I was on the one track forever, just wouldn't end.
Brutal. I
Unless,
can't.
unless
believe
I
you
was just
stuck
playing
through
too
that.
long and I was just sick of it. I don't know.
Zoning out.
Yeah, just going through it at that point. You could take some shortcuts though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That is pretty cool. Certain sections have little openings you can skip through.
I mean, you don't always see them when you need to.
Right.
When I played yesterday, my only real goal, because we didn't really have like a set goal to accomplish yet, my only goal was just to play it until I came in first place in a single race. And I played for half an hour and I said, okay, dude, I get it. I'm just going to put this away. And then when I played it again today, I did finish in first a few times on the very first race, but yeah, that's about it.
And I like how at the very beginning of the game, if you just full throttle it, get first place, or cruising up ahead of everyone, if you don't stop, you're gonna get hit by this train. So it's like right off the bat, it teaches you that like you're gonna be punished for doing good in this game. It's like right away.
I always hit the wall right before the train on purpose to stop myself.
Stop your momentum there.
Every time I hit that wall right before the train, because then I'd get past it just in time then. Also, another part about that stage, there's a gas token that spawns on the stage, but not until you're past that spot. It's like right after the train.
Yeah,
I don't
right
know
after
if
the
anyone
train,
else
yep.
Noticed that? Yeah, dude. How dumb is
I know
that?
exactly what you're talking
How
about.
dumb is that, dude? That would be so helpful.
Yeah, I've stopped and grabbed it because that 20 gas is sometimes, well, as we've stated, is better than first place. Just getting the gas so you can keep moving.
That gas ticks down fast, though, so even 20 units of gas is not going to last that long.
Nope, just one extra screen shift so you can fall behind and not as much of a penalty. That's all that I counted
Yep.
on him for.
Yep.
This game would have been so much better just if you leave all the other crap in there, take the gas thing out, it would have been way more fun.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
they have to fix a lot more than that.
I mean, that would be a huge step to just
Yeah.
take that
it'd be
out.
a lot better. I would definitely increase the enjoyment.
Yeah, do something with the gas and the camera view.
I can even
Oh,
I can deal with the camera.
drifting turns and
I like that. I think once you get used to it, it feels good. You're just ripping around the corners. I think the biggest faults are the gas, and if you even barely touch a wall, you like come to a complete stop, or you're like a bumper car and
Yeah.
bounce off it the opposite direction. I think those are the two biggest faults.
you would think that like a gas tank would be one of the upgrades you could purchase.
That would have been a cool idea.
True.
Yeah, give you more gas. I think everybody would go for that one for sure.
Dude, I would have replaced my second engine with that.
Hell yeah, dude. I can't believe that wasn't an option.
No matter how much money you have, you can only buy one thing at a shop at a time. As soon as you grab it, it closes you out. So if you have a bunch of money, you can't just like kit out your card. So you only get one option per race.
I wonder if it's random too, or if like every race has like a set shop.
Between the first three, I think it's set because I always was able to get the same things. But beyond that, I don't really know.
Yeah, it was different after the first and second race though, because I always bought the bumper after the first race because you couldn't buy it after the second one.
Right, yeah, I mean, I think each shop has like a specific set of items is what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
JB, you said you use the speed tires.
Oh, yeah, dude, the speed
Oh,
tires
man.
and engine too.
Dude,
It
I'm
was
gonna be honest. I got them radial tires. I saw the speed tires like plenty of times. Like I could have upgraded and got like level 2 or 3, but I was just so scared of the handling and speed already that I actively avoided speed tires.
You're scared of the
Like,
speed tires.
yeah, I was like, dude, I'm already kind of going
get
fast,
it.
and I can't really control it. Like, I don't want to go faster and hit walls faster.
I get it.
I had so many opportunities to get them. I was like, they might help, but I mean, I'm not good enough to actually make use of them.
I mean, it sounds like we all kind of suck at this game, but I would like to show you guys how clean I can hit that third race whenever I have my upgrades. It feels awesome.
Hitting those clean drifts.
That's
I
right.
will never get over the one that I did a little bit ago where I was in first place like that entire race. I was hitting all the turns so perfect, and then I just hit just one turn wrong at the very end. And all the cars behind me, of course, got to teleport forward, and I end up in last. Right at the
Yep.
end.
Yeah, I had one good race like
Awful.
that too. Like my best race. I don't know which level it was. Might have been one of the later ones, but I know there was a ton of like crazy like 180 turns, like whipping around all crazy. It was like a snake or something. But I cleared all that stuff. I was doing awesome. I was like, dude, I shredded this race. And I got close to the finish line and ran out of gas and watched all three of them go ahead of me. Like, come on. I was like, well,
Sit there.
yeah, it's like a perfect race, and I still lost because that stupid gas
Yeah,
mechanic.
dude. This game literally punishes you for having like a perfect run. Because as soon as those cars get too far behind you, the way that you would think is what you want to do, then it just teleports them right up behind you, more or less, and you bump one wall and it's over. So it's almost like you want to stay like just barely ahead of them the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well just give him a blue shell from Mario Kart at that point.
Yeah.
Amen. Well, I feel like I've kind of milked this game dry. I'm running out of things to talk about with it. You guys have
Oh.
anything else?
Dude, you missed it. I
Missed
thought you were
what?
going to run out of gas.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm totally out of gas. I need you guys to teleport forward ahead of me and let me know if there's anything else to talk about.
I mean, I think we hit everything I wanted to say.
I'm curious about the trivia, dude.
Dude, it was not easy. It's pretty bad.
I think we should implement this mechanic into our trivia. Whoever falls behind actually gets first place in trivia.
Yeah, teleport.
Oh, Kyle, congratulations. You're in first now. All right. I'm shocked that we even managed to talk about this game for this long. So let's go ahead and just move forward and send it to Brad to give us some numbers.
Alrighty, we'll move into our credits. This one's going to be a little different. This was kind of tough to do. It's kind of hard to keep track of or even know where you actually are in the game. How Scott said there's like 30 races and everything kind of just runs together. So I decided to set us a very easy and reachable goal. So we just did the first technically 3 races when you hit like the first finish line. And yeah, you get to kiss that dude's wife and get a trophy. So when you get to that point,
Oh my
that's
God.
all we're counting. So we're just seeing how many credits it took you to get there, and what place you got in that third and final race. So, who wants to start it off here for us tonight?
Oh man, let me get mine out of the way.
All right.
So we're talking the very first trophy race. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I got first place in the first one, second place in the next one, and then I got last place in the last race.
How many credits did you spend, or you didn't keep track of that?
For that, I'm not sure how to count that. I mean, 1 credit for starting the game. I got first and second in the first 2, so that I didn't spend any there. But the last race I lost, but then it went to the ceremony thing. I'm assuming you still count that as a credit.
Well, did you run out of gas or just come in? Did you still finish the race and came in fourth?
No, I think I ran out of gas on that one. So that be another credit then, probably?
I guess, yeah. This doesn't even matter. I had to do something,
Yeah.
guys. I don't know. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
That's fine.
here.
That's fine. Yeah, just say
I'd
I
imagine
pumped 2 in
so
there.
because I don't even know if it would progress to the ceremony or not if you don't have the other token in at that point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll just count it. We'll say it's 2 credits then for that.
2 credits. Sounds good. All right, Kyle, what about you?
I did the first race I came in first place, the second race I came in second place, and the third race I came in first place, and I used it just the 1 credit.
Nicely done.
Nice.
Yeah, I was
Very
surprised
nice.
as well.
And Jordan?
Yeah, I guess it depends on how we're doing this. If we're counting all 3 of the races together, my better one, I guess they're actually kind of the same, but my first one is the same as Sky's here, just with 1 token. First place, then second place, then fourth place with 1 token. And that's the one I said where I was going to get first place on that last race, and then you bump 1 wall at the very end, and they all fly past you. But if we're only counting the third and final race, I did have one where I came in second place in the final race. So I don't know which one we're really counting here, but it was 1 token either way.
All right, fair enough. I don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just saying stuff at this point. I'm not going to
that's
lie,
fair.
man. I lost it. I don't know. But
That's fair.
for me, my best one, I just lost to Kyle, essentially. I got first, third, and then first. And then I only used 1 credit as well. So,
Nice.
yeah, like I said, my trick on the second race, that's why I fell behind, because I was trying to get that gas. Because multiple times when I got to the third race, I would run out of gas. So my goal was to stock up on gas from the previous race, so I'd have enough to rip through that last course and get first. And that worked, but I ended up pulling third in that second race instead.
Yeah, I think I pretty sure I could have got first in the second one as well, but I tried to take the other path because I think there was like a gas power up in there. I don't even think
Yes.
I needed it. I was just like, and it also kind of looked like a shortcut when it first appeared on the screen, and then but
No, it's not.
yeah, as the screen progresses, it like takes this giant U loop and it ends up wasting time. And I was like, oh, if I just didn't take that path, I could have probably beat them.
Alrighty, well, with that out of the way, we'll move into our personal ratings. I just went with 1,500 for the cost of the engine 2 upgrade, which I always got. So we're rating out of 1,500 this week.
Dude, you should have rated that of 160 for the gas. I could have gave it a 0.
Oh, there we go. 160. That's a better one. I like that.
I'm out of
Is that
gas.
what you start
dude.
with?
Yeah, I think you start with 160.
160. Yeah.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do that. I like that better. That's more.
How much gas
We're
do
on
you
point
give it,
here.
guys?
We're all running out of gas. I mean, I can start it off. It's this is not a pretty one. I'll give it, the only credit I'll give it is the fact that I was at least invested enough to keep trying. But that's only because we were only doing the first 3 races. If we were doing like all 30, it's like how many credits did you spend to do all 30? I would have never in my life even attempted to do it more than once. But the fact we were only doing the first 3, I was at least invested enough to keep trying it, and that's probably the only positive thing I'll say about this entire game. Dude, I mean, we said it all. The camera controls are abysmal. The turning is a nightmare. The gas function is absolutely terrible. I mean, I can't give this a good rating. I'm just gonna go to 48 out of 160.
That's a low one. Oh, I'll go next. I mean, it was frustrating, but like I said, once I got the hang of the steering a little bit and got the upgrades, kind of knew which ones I liked. Granted, again, I was mostly focusing on the first 3 races. I did do some of the later ones, but not as many times. So if I would have did the whole thing, I probably wouldn't have had a lot of fun. But for what I played, I think it's worth at least hopping in and checking out and messing around a little bit and getting ripped up by the CPUs. But I'm gonna give it a let me see here. We'll give it an 84 out of 160.
I think it's only worth hopping in and checking it out if you want to just see all of the terrible things we're talking about for yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
I mean, I'm pretty close to Jordan on this one. I'm thinking like probably gonna give it a 40. I just think the gas system, like I don't mind the idea of the system. I think its implementation was bad. I think the camera system is really bad. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I feel like bumping into the walls, like that whole thing, for me is like the least amount of the problems in the game. Like I don't really mind that. If the gas was different and the camera was different, then like at least bumping into the walls would have been the part where like the skill comes in, where like if you hit it, like you know you get pretty heavily punished for that. So like don't hit them. But that only works if the other two systems are better. If I give it a couple points for like the way, like when Jordan mentioned that the controls are probably on the cabinet, like that, then that's fair. And then I think if you're playing with actual other people, the game is probably way more enjoyable. It's just not fun with computers, like with the systems they have to like kind of like push the guy in the back up to the front. Only really works for players because you get a penalty for that. But like we said, the computers don't get that penalty. So that whole system kind of goes out the window and just feels really bad, even if you're in first place, which is awkward. I'm glad we did it the way we did it, where like we only had to play the first couple levels as far as our score goes. 30 levels seems too much. Like I can imagine even if we were all at Brad's house playing, like then I think it would be more fun, but I think it would only be fun for like about like 10 races or so, because like that's something manageable that we could play, and like, you know, everyone kind of collectively sucks together, but you would get through the 10, and like if you wanted to, you could keep track and see like, okay, you know, who whatever overall came in first place. But I think when you stretch that out to 30 maps, I don't think anybody's really having fun past, you know, 10 maps or so. And then even trying to keep track of that is like, at some point you would know probably halfway through that like you could come in first in like all of the maps leading up, and you're probably still in last place. You know what I mean? If you're like that far behind in the first 10 or 15 maps. So I think this game, I would love to see them like revisit this game and make these changes, and I bet it would be a dramatically different feel. But the way it sits, I'm going to land on a 40.
Yeah, I do have one thing to say about the camera angle after looking at the actual arcade cabinet. I wonder if the reason that the camera is like that is because it's like a cocktail cab where it's like, it looks like a table, and there's a steering wheel on each of the four sides. So no matter where you're standing, you know you can kind of turn the direction your car needs to go just by, you know what I mean, assuming you're sitting in the driver's seat to know which way it goes left and right. I'm not saying it makes it okay, but I'm just saying that might be why. I feel like they designed the cabinet first before they came up with the controls of the game or something.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, Sky, let's hear yours.
I'm going to give it a 64.
Yeah.
Pretty much you guys have already said everything that needs to be said. The only reason I played through the 30, honestly, I was just curious. I just wanted to see how crazy the maps got.
How bad could it get?
Yeah, some of it got very, very bad. And then a couple times I have some good winning streaks, like I was doing awesome. And then you just run out of gas. Like, I know we talked about the gas system's terrible, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but the video I was watching, one of the comments, one of the guys said, no matter how good you are at the game, like even if, he said, if you come in first every single time, you can still run out of gas. So that really makes it, you know what I mean, kind of bad. So like even with perfect play, like say this is your favorite game, you came in first every race, you're awesome at it, you're hitting all the turns. He said you can still run out of gas anyway and end up having to spend a credit. So, I mean, I don't know if that's true. If it is, that's insanely terrible design. Like if you master a game, you should be able to just beat the whole thing one credit, come first every time, get the highest score.
Wait, so basically he's saying that like there's basically some mandatory gas power-ups that you have to get in order to not run out of gas throughout your playthrough.
I'm not sure if
That's what it
it's
sounds like.
Yeah, either that. I'm not sure if it's that or if no matter what, you're always going to have to spend like a couple quarters or something. I don't know. But even
Yeah, that
still,
would suck.
even if you can save yourself with the gas power-ups, it's so hard to hit those anyway. Like you're probably going to lose a race trying to grab one of those. I don't know. Yeah, the gas thing in the camera really holds the game back.
Most of the games, whenever we play them, I look up a playthrough. I always type in whatever game followed by 1cc just to see like someone do it really well. I could not find one on this game, so I don't know if it's impossible or like it just physically seems impossible because it's so hard, but I haven't found one.
Yeah, I think the coolest part of the game for me, like the real fun part of it is trying to get the money and do the upgrades. Like the little shop system is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Whether you'd notice it or not, like I mean, if you have the wrong tires for a track, you're not going to notice anything different and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool they have that in there. But it also kind of sucks because like some of the tracks are just so crazy. Like no matter what upgrades you get, you're probably still going to get wrecked a lot. Like.
Wait, you say you're not going to notice a difference, but there is a difference on the different trains for the tires.
I mean, like, if you have the wrong one, or let's say you're using, like, normal ones on, like, normal roads, and you buy, like, what's the spike tires, I think? That's for, like, the mud, maybe? Like, you might buy spike tires, and it might not be mud in the next map or something, and you don't really notice any difference. You kind of wasted your money.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
But it's cool that they have different upgrades for different terrain and stuff like that.
Yeah, they tried to add a little depth.
Yeah. I think that's probably the only real cool part of this game is the shop system, but everything else kind of sucks.
All right. Well, that was a little rough for us here, so let's move into our rankings. I don't think we're gonna be any nicer to Hot Rod tonight. So this is our 42nd game, I believe. Let's see where it fits in with all the other games we've played for the podcast. Doesn't sound like it's gonna be very high.
It's in the basement for me, man.
Literally bottom for you?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, yeah, probably, man. I mean, there's a lot of games down there that I think were pretty boring. This game just feels flawed to me, which is worse.
I'm gonna be honest, I still like it better than Vamp.
I don't know, man.
I'm just throwing this out there. I'm gonna start it off. I would put this at 39. That's just me.
I don't know. I think I might prefer Vamp. Like a little bit. Like Vamp was at least like it was so dumb it was almost kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was just bad. It was just really bad, but
I don't know that I even care enough to say anything. Kyle, what about you?
Can we just put it dead last? Like I said, WrestleFest I know you guys think was boring, but at least it wasn't like just fundamentally completely flawed like this game felt like.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure, honestly. I still think WrestleFest sucks.
I do too. To me, this goes 41, just above WrestleFest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, come on, dude.
I would prefer this over Gauntlet though, because Gauntlet is just so spammy and brainless. At least this one, you can get some level of like competency on the tracks, regardless of all the other trash in it.
Dude, if we put a Hot Rod above Gauntlet, like we're toast.
we been toast for a minute. What do you mean?
Like, but this is the final, dude. That's the final straw. Those guys are not gonna.
Bro, we're burnt toast.
I just really want to play a newer Gauntlet so bad, dude, because we'll put that high.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's definitely somewhere around 39, 40, or 41. Like the last three somewhere.
I can't talk you guys into below WrestleFest.
I'd give it to you. I mean, I don't know if I personally love that spot, but I'd compromise and give it to you.
I would at least put it above WrestleFest personally. Like if we all got together and played one of these two games, I would still have more fun playing Hot Rod with you guys than I would WrestleFest.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
The way
too.
I see it, at least one of us really liked WrestleFest. No one liked this.
I mean, Skylar liked enough to play all 30 levels.
I did go through all 30.
Did he like it enough to do that?
I was curious. Curious. It was a painful curiosity.
Yeah. What's the word for someone who enjoys pain?
Masochist.
Like a masochist? This guy's a masochist. That's all it is.
Did you track your credits on that full 30 map run?
Yeah. You want to see? You want to hear?
Really?
I
do want to hear that.
I tracked actually every place I got in every race up to that.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
do all that.
I'm not gonna list all that. But at my totals,
jeez,
for all 30 races, my totals, I came in first 9 times total out of all 30 races. I came in second.
Impressive.
I came in second and third 4 times each, and I came in last place 13 times for the whole run.
That's not that bad.
Total credits for all 30 was 11, and my score at the end was 404,029.
Sounds like an awful time.
Yeah. I actually didn't spend as many credits as I thought I would. I tore through some of those races. Other times I just barely made it where I didn't have to spend a credit, but I was probably 5 seconds away from spending a credit. But
Come
yeah.
on, put it below WrestleFest.
I don't know, man. I could give you Gauntlet. I can't do it, dude.
Come on, dude.
I really did not enjoy WrestleFest like at all. I can't.
You're gonna put
Even thinking about trying to play one of these with other people, I don't think I ever want to touch WrestleFest again in my life. This game, I could play with you guys a little bit.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, Hot Rod sucked, but there's like a visceral hate for WrestleFest.
Oh man, rough crowd.
I don't
Jordan,
even
rough
like when I
crowd.
see it on the list, it actually puts me in a bad mood.
I think Hot Rod gives
Man.
WrestleFest a stunner. I'm just saying.
That's whack that the game all four of us hated is gonna be above the one that one of us loved.
But it had enough cool stuff in it, variation, that WrestleFest was just like, I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It was just so random and dumb. I don't know. It never felt like I could ever get any amount of skill in WrestleFest. Like,
Yeah, I remember being
Kill me,
pretty good
man.
at that game. To be honest, I figured it out. You had to play it like a beat 'em up. How you got to keep inching up and punching. It was one of those kind of gameplays.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find somebody that knows how to make arcade games and commission them to make the worst arcade game to ever exist, and not tell you guys, and just say, "Hey, we should play this new game. It looks pretty cool," just so I can have something below WrestleFest.
I'm sure there's plenty of bad games out there that you could pick. Look up the worst arcade games, or just look through a list of like
Might.
10,000 and just pick one at random. It'll probably suck.
I might, but all right, we can put this, I guess, next to last if that's how it's gonna be.
I guess that's what they're pushing for. I'm too neutral to have a say, so they're gonna have to sway me right into that 41, I guess.
Dumb.
Alrighty, well, we gave Hot Rod enough time in the rankings. Let's close her out. We got Gauntlet at 40, Hot Rod at 41, WWF WrestleFest at 42.
so we've cooled on Hot Rods, so now we're like cool rods.
Cool Rod.
We're like a maybe lukewarm rod, really.
We don't need to talk about your rod anymore, Sky.
Whoa, hey,
Yeah.
whoa.
Hey Jordan, how's your rod? Let's get some trivia.
Pretty hot, dudes. But
You running hot?
leading the way now that everybody ran out of gas, Kyle with 56.
Let's
Congratulations,
go.
man. You teleported up front.
Woo!
Sky's now in last place because he was in first with 72.
Oh, cool
And
your
Brad's-
engines, buddy.
Brad's there too with 67.
Yeah.
This was not an easy one to work up some trivia for. There is not much information out there about this game. I mean, obviously, there's not much to this game. So I did the best I could. This isn't going to be great, but that's okay. I think you guys are going to do pretty well. We'll start off with question number 1. Which of the following is not an available tire upgrade? A. Snow tires. B. Spike tires. C. Mud tires. Which one is not an available tire
Hey,
upgrade?
snow tires.
Okay.
I'm gonna say mud tires.
All right.
What was there? Snow, mud, and spike?
Yes.
I'm gonna say there's no mud tires.
All right. The correct answer is the mud tires. That one goes to Brad and Sky. Question number 2. How many units of gas do you gain from picking up a gas token on the track? A. 10 units. B. 20 units. C. 30 units.
I'm gonna take a random guess and say 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also gonna run my randomization program and say 20.
Yeah, I didn't hear what anybody else said, but I'm gonna say 20.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Correct answer is 20. I mean, that was pretty easy. But here's the one and only one that might be. I don't think anyone's gonna know this probably, but the shop theme song was reused in what later Sega racing game? A. Turbo Outrun. B. Power Drift. C. Revolt.
With all the drifting, we're gonna say power drift.
Okay.
What was A? Turbo something.
Turbo Outrun.
I'll do the turbo outrun.
I'm gonna do C, whatever that was.
Revolt. All right. The correct answer is A. Turbo Outrun, which means Sky gets all 3 correct, which means he goes to the back of the line, and
Woo!
Kyle, who gets 1 correct, goes on to win today.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
love
That's
this
right,
game,
boys.
dude.
Warm your rods up.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Sky, you're going to 75. Kyle, you're going to 57. Brad, I got good news for you. You're going to 69, my friend. Very nice.
Yay! Hot Rod's about to get his hot dog out, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
boy.
Uh,
Let's go get some chili dogs.
Anyway.
Wait, would Hot Rod eat a chili dog?
No.
Is it too
boy.
cold? Is that too cold for him?
Dude.
Actually, if you look carefully on the very first race of the game, there is a hot dog stand beside the starting line.
Bro,
Hot
stop,
Rod's hot dogs.
stop kissing my wife.
This dude kissed all of our wives. Dude has a different wife every 3 minutes.
Guy needs to calm down, man. He's out here kissing everyone's wives.
It's that hot rod, dude. What can you say?
Oh my god. You get free hot dogs too,
Alrighty.
man.
I really want to end this. Next time on Arcadiology, we have Armadillo Racing. You can follow us on all social media at Arcadiology. You can email us some questions at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com. Or, as always, you can use the link in the bio. Hop on our free Discord, please, and be our friends. We got a few buddies on there to talk to us here and there. Shout out to the main fan, dude. He's always on there. Besides that, though, hop on there, be our friends, talk to us. And, of course, as always, you know we'd appreciate it if you left us the 5-star review so I can read it on the show. Say goodbye, boys.
See ya.
Later, dudes.
Peace.
Insert that closing line here. Goodbye.